edition of Raising the Bar. I'm your host, Alan Pickert. Today's episode is sponsored by Terrell Hogan Law, a litigation firm located in downtown Jacksonville, Florida, that's been in existence for over 50 years. Today we have a very special guest. Today we have a good friend of mine, a former bar president of the Jacksonville Bar Association, and just a really, really good lawyer, Joe Camerlengo. Joe,
thank you, Alan.
Welcome to the show.
Great seeing you, my friend.
So before we get started and get into all the weeds and stories, tell us a little bit about your law practice.
Well, since 2008, we've been doing almost exclusively, and then since 2014, exclusively tractor trailer and commercial motor vehicle crashes. It's a very niche practice that really needs a specialty where board certified trucking lawyers makes a difference. And so we represent people injured and killed by tractor trailers all over the country, trying to make our roads safer, one bad trucking company at a time.
So people probably don't understand this, but trucking cases are a lot more specialized than just your normal automobile accident, correct?
Absolutely. In fact, some of the same regulations that apply to pilots apply to truck drivers. In fact, the Federal Aviation Administration Authorization Act has a whole part of it on preemption that applies in trucking cases when you go after the broker or the shipper instead of, a lot of these advertising firms that call themselves truck lawyers or advertise for it. If there's a catastrophic injury, they'll take that million and run very quickly, not understanding that there could be tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars available in coverage and assets for those families if you just know where to look and how to do that. And so, a lot of lawyers wouldn't take an airplane crash case. They'd refer that to an airline specialist or an aircraft crash specialist, but they'll take a trucking case and treat it like a car wreck, unfortunately.
Well, and I know, me personally, I've had several trucking cases that I've associated with you as co-counsel, and I'm sure other lawyers do as well, because honestly, they want to bring the expert in.
Well, and it makes such a difference, right? For the client, you get two great lawyers for the price of one. One's a great, when you and I work together, you're a phenomenal lawyer, one of my mentors coming up, as we were just talking about before we went on the air. But the trucking knowledge and the trucking specialty makes a huge difference.
So one of the things you mentioned that I want to make the viewers understand is you mentioned board certified in trucking litigation.
Yes, sir.
There are very few lawyers that are board certified in trucking litigation. Explain to them what that means.
Sure. So the National Board of Trial Advocates is an American Bar Association, has two companies they use to develop board certifications and specialties. So the NBTA it's an official American Bar Association board certification. There's less than still, I think, 75 lawyers in the entire country, just a handful of us in Florida, that are actually board certified in trucking. So what that means is you have to have so many years and practice in trials and experience in trials and depositions, mediations, those type of things, major briefing, major issues in trucking. You have to have, there's an experience base, there's a knowledge base, you have to actually take a test and pass, and then there's a peer review process. So it's actually a very, very, it was harder to become board certified in trucking through the NBTA, that national certification, than it was to be a Florida board certified civil trial lawyer, which, as you know, is a very prestigious and hard process to go through as well.
Mm-hmm. So I know you've gotten many large verdicts from going to trial and trying the cases. But do you have like a favorite case in mind, one or two cases that really kind of stand out to you in terms of whether it was the fact scenario was so egregious or the result was so wonderful or you were able to get great justice for the clients? Is there one or two of those type of cases that kind of stick out to you?
Well, yeah, there's a bunch. I mean, first of all, if you're doing these cases right, they take a little piece of your soul with you. I mean, we care about all our clients. Most of them, I was on the phone with one today I'm going to tell you about. It's one of them, Amber Chafin and her family. We just got them a $56.65 million judgment, but still not enough for what they went through. She's a single mom, slowed down for a school zone in broad daylight, was rear-ended and rendered her quadriplegic. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, but it's those families. When I got off the phone with Amber and her mom today, I said, I love you back. I mean, literally, we develop a love and affinity for our clients, but we want to make a difference in their lives. We always kid around and say, we're not just here for a case, we're here for life. And that's truly how we feel. So Amber's a great example. I told you about that one. It's a recent recovery for her. The very first trucking case. People ask me all the time, like, why'd you get into trucking? And it was Tony Ann Johnson, 19-year-old girl killed on a little county road by a major motor carrier pulling double tandem trailers down a little county road to try and save a little time on their logs and get one more run in a day. It's that one more run that killed Tony Ann Johnson at 19. Still talk to her family. So that was what started me on this crusade.
Wow.
But there are lots of examples like that. I mean, we have, on the difference a board certified lawyer makes, we actually have a client we just finished last year. It was unfortunately another 19-year-old girl runs off the road at like 3 a.m, takes out a light pole, no one knows why, and she's standing in the roadway of the light out on I-95 in Stewart, and gets hit by a tractor trailer. 3 advertising law firms had it before us. One had a 0 offer, withdrew. Second had a 0 offer, withdrew. The third had a $70,000 offer. Saw me speak at the Florida Justice Association trucking program I was putting on. Asked if I could help. We resolved that claim for $10 million for that family.
Wow.
So it went from 70,000 to 10 million because of the trucking expertise. They were all focused on the pedestrian standing in the roadway, which there's plenty of these studies that say that you can't see someone standing on the roadway at highway speed until it's too late. We focused on the car on the side of the roadway that had reflectors that could be seen for 2,000 feet. Got the truck driver to acknowledge that was a hazard. Had he seen the hazard before, he would have slowed down and moved over instead of staying in the right lane. And that's what won the case for us.
Wow. Now, you're not only ultra successful in the courtroom, but I know outside you have a beautiful wife. I don't know what she's doing with you. Sorry.
That's right.
You know, like
way
a
outkicked
beautiful
my
wife. Yeah, outkicked your coverage. Two beautiful daughters. But you do a lot in the community. I know for a fact, just last year, you and your daughter, or maybe it was 2 years ago, was the soccer coach of my little granddaughter over here at Assumptions. Tell us a little bit about your community service.
Well, soccer's easy. I was a soccer player back in high school and played, kind of city league and adult leagues through college and law school, and then even as a lawyer back here. And so always been passionate about it. When my oldest daughter picked up soccer, I think at like 5, I started coaching, and I coached literally right through till last year with my youngest daughter, and who's now just turned 16. And literally, I think I'm going to coach in spring again. Her team wanted me to coach. They went with a different coach because they combined, as the age groups go up, as the girls get older, there's less and less teams at those ages. So the U19 team, they combined 2 for JFC, and the girls want me to come back and coach. So I may do it whether or not my daughter plays next year. Very passionate about that and just giving back to the community, but also involved with, my wife is a huge animal rescuer, as you know. Well, she rescued me, so I allow her, and I put up with her
tell
rescuing.
everybody how many pets you have at home.
I have none, Alan. My wife, we have 6 huskies. I think there are 11 rabbits in my house. I'm not quite sure. There's currently a hedgehog and a bird that we're babysitting or fostering or something. There's a couple of rescued hermit crabs, and that's all I know about at this point.
That's great.
I don't go to the second floor. The animals are upstairs, other than the dogs.
That is absolutely great. You used to be the Jacksonville Bar Association president. What does that mean?
That's a pride thing. As you know, when I was deciding, because we're all so busy, right? It's such a privilege to have served in that capacity. But when I was deciding whether to run and do that, I was so busy. I was my law firm. I remember one of the former bar presidents saying that he could not overestimate what it meant to be a Jacksonville bar president in the community and with judges, and it's something I'm exceptionally proud of.
And it's 1 per year. That's it. It's just 1 lawyer per year for North Florida, and they're kind of in charge of all the lawyers here in town, so to speak. When I was
president, we just hit 2,000 lawyers in our membership, which was great. I know something when you were president that we're always trying to get to, and we finally hit 2,000. It was very, very special, and it's one of those things with great presidents like you. I was always wondering what can I do to not mess it up and to make it a little better. And I was very proud. We didn't have a diversity committee, so I started the diversity committee, which I still try and serve on from time to time and attend things. It was pretty cool.
What made you decide to be a lawyer?
My whole life, people told me I should be a lawyer, and I went to law school because I didn't want to go sell stocks and bonds. I was a poor kid, didn't have some family members who could put me in a good position. I went to law school to be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. I wanted to get my JD MBA, and I took trial practice and said, people were right, this is what I was born to do, be in front of juries, and I just love it. It's an absolute privilege. We just hosted, I'm the current chair of the AJ Truck Litigation Group. We just hosted our members only, hundreds of lawyers from all over the country at Ponte Vedra Inn and Club. It was a great event. but I wanted to have a life balance and wellness special speaker on Friday. Instead of just talking about trucking and traumatic brain injury, let's talk about life balance. And he was talking about stress and life, and you'd build in time for yourself and all these things. I went up to him afterwards and I said, because he's an occupational epidemiologist talking about stress and the different statistics.
Sure.
I said, does it make a difference if you love what you do? And he looked at me and said, yeah, why? I said, I love going to work every day. The people I work with, I love. We have a beautiful office with windows everywhere and a balcony so we can get outside and enjoy the sun. And I love every one of my clients. Like, I work because I love to work. And he's like, it's very different. Keep doing it.
Wow.
He did tell me to maybe build in a little bit more personal time, but.
You talked about total life choices and doing everything. What do you like to do with your free time?
My wife and daughters, and fortunately we have a lot of the things I love, they love. Like, so we love the Jaguars and sporting events, right? We love the Gators. My daughter's going to UF right now, so we get to go all the home games. We go to a couple of away games. We love to travel, right? We're going to Turks and Caicos coming up here for New Year's, and
oh, wonderful.
And they're going to Italy next summer. So really, it's time with family. It means the most. And then every now and then try and get, we're very fortunate. I speak all over the country at these events. Mm-hmm. So I have a lot of time with great lawyers, men and women all over the country that care as much as we do. And so I'm just very blessed. I appreciate it.
That's fantastic. Well, this is my 47th episode. And I have never said this in the history of any of the episodes, but I've been practicing law for 34 years now, and I've only lost one case in those 34 years. So I think I'm a pretty good lawyer. But when it comes to trucking accidents and trucking litigation, I think you are far beyond one of the best lawyers, not only in North Florida, but in the whole state of Florida. And you blow me away. So if I get a trucking case, I'm calling you. So
I appreciate
that. But you do a fantastic
It
job.
means the world to me.
Joe, thank you for joining us.
God bless you, brother. Merry Christmas.
It's been another edition of Raising the Bar. I'm your host, Alan Pickert. Have a good day.